Hey guys, Debs here, and I'm bringing you a video on my Lego Game Boy Micro. And, it's not perfect. There's a lot missing. But when I got this Game Boy Micro, I didn't realize how small these things were. It's ludicrous how small they are. Like, this is a Game Boy Advance cartridge, and it's like only about a fourth of the size of this console. It's crazy how small it is. So I couldn't manage to pack in a lot of the detail. And there's obviously a couple of other flaws, like these anti-studs here, which are one of the only things holding this entire thing together. But, oh well, I still think it turned out okay-ish. You know, I don't think I could have done much better. And, really the only detail I managed to include was the headphone jack, which, as you can see right there, I couldn't even include, like, shoulder buttons or anything. And the back is like, this back slopes up, which this kind of does, but it doesn't do it in that direction, so, you know, whatever. There's just a lot of give and take in terms of the details. It is the right size, however. Like, the thickness in particular is pretty good. Height. I don't know, this is kind of... I feel pretty good about this creation, but at the same time, it's just like, there's so much I'm missing. The buttons are in the right place and everything, so is the D-pad. The D-pad is really way too big, as you can see there. But oh well. So now I guess I'll just kind of talk about this and how I built it and how I went about building it. So the Game Boy Micro itself has kind of a faceplate. It has changeable faceplates, and you can see how the faceplate juts above this little silver part here. And I wanted to try to incorporate that, which I did over here. You can see the black piece raises above the blade piece right here. And then the Game Boy Micro also has a curve, as you can see there, which I implemented in the blade area over here. As you can see, it gets about a half plate higher. But I didn't raise the black part a half plate, so it didn't keep the kind of faceplate thing, but I think it kind of gives it like an illusion of a curve. But that's just me, and maybe that's just an excuse I'm using. But, oh well. So now I guess I'll just kind of deconstruct it. And that's kind of a pain, because it's just... deconstructing this is... everything just falls apart, pretty much. That's how you deconstruct it. Okay. The screen unfortunately fell out, but that's no big deal. Alright, so that's everything deconstructed. Let me just put the screen back real quick, because that is actually attached. Alright, so really the only technique I'm using here is to get a half plate. Excuse me, hold on, I got kind of confused there. So, pretty much to get the half plate, to get, like, the piece to be above the gray thing, like the little half plate, I just use these little, like, fence pieces. And I pretty much just slide it in through friction, like it holds together entirely through friction. Like, it's not falling out, it's just friction. And that's really the only technique I used. Except, actually this does have 3 techniques, I would say. Now, as you can see here, this center button, there's this weird, like, cheese slip thing going on, and that's because these black pieces go down a half plate on both sides. As you can see there, it goes down a half plate. So to make it meet up evenly, I had to add a stud to both sides. And to do that, I put 2 cheese slopes on top of each other, which equals a stud. And sorry that, like, I'm using the glare so that you can actually kind of see the areas I'm talking about, because just everything's black and it kind of doesn't show up well on camera unless I'm shining a light on it. But as you can see here, the 2 cheese slips on top of each other equals a stud. And so I use that to get rid of the offset. And then on a similar note, I do another kind of half plate offset thing here. So to generate that half plate offset, but also keep the creation a lot sturdier, I used a Technic pin here, or not a Technic pin, a Technic brick, and then I have this little 1x1 brick with studs on two sides, which is also how the screen's held in. And this one, the Technic brick, has the studs going up, so if I put the studs going down on the other brick and connect them together, it generates a half plate offset, so that's pretty cool. And that was just a way to make sure it stays together, which it actually does. If I were to flip this upside down, it's completely together, nothing would fall out, which is pretty cool. I'm glad I managed to do that. So, I guess that's really all there is left to say, so I'm just going to put it back together now, which might take a decent amount of time, because it's kind of hard to do. And I usually try to put it together in a certain way, like in a certain order. Whoa. Oh, there it is. That's foolish right there. And slide in that. Okay, that seems good. Now to get this in. This is the hard part. Okay. There we go. I'll make sure everything's nice and snug. As you can see, nothing falls out, which is pretty cool. It's a little gappy over here, but if you just kind of force it in, the gaps kind of go away. And that is my Lego Game Boy Micro, and it is the last of the Lego Game Boys I'm making, because I've completed the entire Game Boy line out of Legos, except for two exceptions, which are the Game Boy Light, which only released in Japan and is exactly the same as the Game Boy Pocket, except the battery cover is different. And I've already made the Game Boy Pocket, so I'm not going to make one that's pretty much identical. And then the Game Boy Advance SP with the backlit screen. It has the exact same shell, just a different color, so again, I'm not just going to remake the same thing. So I will be making a video with every single Lego Game Boy I've made together, and I'll be showing those off. And I don't know when I'm going to be doing that, because I still need to take photos of all of them, and I also need to repair some of them. So just look forward to that in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.